We're live.
We're live.
Oh, we live. I like saying that.
Yeah. Welcome back. It's our month, ladies.
Yes. Oh, I meant to ask y'all before we went live, but that's okay. Did y'all see the solar eclipse thing?
So
Barely.
Yeah, it was barely. Like it got a little overcast outside. I forgot about it actually, and then
Look, me too.
It started getting a little dark outside. And I was like, oh yeah, the eclipse. But by the time I looked out there, it really wasn't. I didn't really see anything going on. I mean, but it did get a little darker for sure. I kind of missed it.
Oh, okay. I missed it too. I forgot all about it. I had to go on social media and live vicariously through some of my friends.
Yeah,
they posted some nice pictures.
Some states had better views, really dark there. Here, it didn't really get too dark to me. Jordan was like, "Look, mom, it's getting dark," and I was like, "It looked the same to me."
Yeah.
If you say so.
Yeah, they were just overcast. But I was watching it on the news, like they was doing like coverage of it, and they did really get like dark in some other cities, like that, where you could really tell that okay, it's an eclipse.
Oh,
good evening, Elle. Elle, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Why can't see? Are you coming in early today?
Yes, welcome. Come on in.
Hey,
I can't see the comments.
You missed the eclipse. look, we all were just doing other stuff. We just missed the eclipse.
You missed the eclipse too?
Technical. I see my financial besties. Hey, y'all.
Can you see them?
We got Maya in here. We got a few people in here. If you're here, say hi.
Hello.
Yes. If you are live with us, drop some money emojis in the chat so we'll know you here. Drop some money emojis in the chat.
I see at least 7 people.
And if you are watching the replay from the future, comment replay gang so we will know you were here. We love y'all. We love all y'all. Yeah. So, ladies, what are we talking about tonight?
Well, it is Financial Awareness Month, and I think we talked about financial self-care.
Financial self-care for Black women tonight, right? That is the topic. So we'll be sharing some of our financial self-care practices as well as some of our best money decisions, and we'll share that with you all so you can have some takeaways and hopefully apply them in your own life and with your own finances, right? See what works for you.
Come through, Elle, with the money, babies. Come through, yes. Hey, Shalana. Hey, Elle. Hey, Maya. How y'all doing?
Hello. Hey.
Welcome.
Financial.
Welcome. Y'all coming in. I'm curious before we get into it because these they're from all over.
Hi, Crystal. Dropping dollar signs in the chat.
What state are you in?
Yes.
If you saw the eclipse, what state are you in? I want to know. I feel like.
Yeah.
Did it get dark? If it got dark for you, I want to know what state are you in.
So I had one friend that posted a really good picture and it was like full. Like some of the pictures only show like half of the sun and half of the moon. It was like full, and she was in Dallas, Texas. So
Texas, I did hear get dark. I saw a map, and I have to send it to you guys later on, but it kind of went diagonal across because I was trying to understand why some states on the East Coast was going to see it for much longer than we were. I'm like, we're all on the same coast, but I didn't realize you see it at like an angle across the country.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dallas was right in the middle of the path of totality.
Oh, okay. So that's
what it's called.
A good state.
Come on, Coach Emily, with the technical terms.
Yes.
Coach Emily.
Path of totality.
No one lies.
Yes, from Palm.
Hello, Edith. Welcome.
Okay. Elle is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay.
Really? I'm in North Carolina too. Did you see it, Elle? Okay, your city wasn't on the list. Yeah, we didn't really see it like that here. It wasn't like a.
Yes. Shalana said Columbus, Ohio got pretty dark.
We're on the path. I saw that it was around that area, so that makes sense to me.
Cool.
I'm so jealous.
Yes. Financial self-care. Those of you watching us live, what does financial self-care mean to you? What does it mean to you? Can we pop that question up on the screen? Tell us in the comments, what does financial self-care mean to you? Because we're going to share what it means to us, right? And some of the decisions that we've made to enhance our financial self-care, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, we want to hear from you guys too, though. So let us know. We want to create the baseline. What are we thinking out there? When you hear the term financial self-care, what comes to mind?
Yeah. We're doing this in honor of financial literacy month or financial awareness month? Which one is it?
Financial literacy month?
I feel like it's literacy month, but I think there is an awareness day somewhere in the middle of here too.
There is a financial awareness day. I don't think it's in April though. I think it's some other time of the year. It's like a random, yeah. But this is the month.
Okay. Look, I think we just be making up stuff, y'all. Just to have something.
I'm with you, B. There is a financial awareness day, but I don't think it's in April though. It's some other time because I remember
it says it's August 14th.
See? It was a real thing. See, Malika, we're not making it up.
Good. We get to celebrate it twice.
Because somebody made it up.
Exactly. It wasn't until recently I started hearing about Daughter's Day, Son's Day, then Grandchildren Day. I'm like, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Come on. So we are
going to give us a response. She said, it means that I can take care of all my responsibilities. So yeah, we were asking about what does financial self-care mean to you all, and if you could just pop it in the chat what it means to you. And this is what Elle says. It means that I can take care of all my responsibilities.
More intention.
Yes. Hello, Chanel.
Here we go. I will call financial security, making sure your money provides you freedom and is not the boss of you. Okay.
I
like that, Chanel.
I like that.
Crystal says being intentional about budgeting, spending, saving, investing, and everything in between. Yes, she got a comprehensive coverage.
Okay.
Yes, I'm loving these answers.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it, ladies. What does financial self-care mean to you? And how have you nurtured your financial self-care?
Yeah.
For me, financial self-care is using your money as a tool to allow you to exercise self-care in the other physical and emotional ways you need to. I mean, money, we talk about this all the time. Like, money is just a tool. And oftentimes it gets in the way of our actual self-care, and making sure that we can take that one thing off the table where we're not stressed about our finances so that we can say yes to ourselves. We can choose what's best for us without fear, shame, or guilt is very powerful. And so to me, it looks like learning how to self-advocate, learning how to say no, which is something I really struggled to do, is to set boundaries and say out loud what I needed. And when I could and couldn't do something because I was focused on a goal, or because financially it just would have been irresponsible. So allowing your money to be a tool, a resource to your actual overall well-being.
And Coach B, can you introduce yourself for those who don't know us? I know this is our 5th or 6th round, so there are quite a few that know us, but some new viewers may not know us.
I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go around.
Yes, quick.
I'm Coach B. I am an ADHD money coach. I am the owner of Young Rich Rooted. I work with the 4 times exceptional gifted Black women with ADHD who are trying to shift from being financially frustrated to feeling financially unwittable. And we do that by working with our brain and not against our brain, and creating financial solutions that work for the neurodivergent mind.
Excellent.
I swear I need to be your client, because every time you describe what you do, it sounds like you're talking about me.
I need to be yours. I follow your YouTube channel.
Thank you. All right, I'll go next. Hey. Anybody new to me? I'm Malika. I'm a money coach and the founder of Fabulous Financials. I help Black women learn how to manage their money and invest with ease so you can achieve financial independence to live whatever you love.
And what does financial self-care mean to you, Money? I guess if we go around, we can introduce ourselves.
Okay. Financial self-care to me means using money as a tool, similar to what Coach B said, to improve your health, your wealth, and your joy in life.
I love that joy part, especially.
Yeah.
Here for the joy.
Yeah.
And I can go next. So my name is Chiante Jones, and I'm a financial coach and the founder of Dollars and Change. And I help women with their money, to help them confidently manage their money so that they can create more financial flexibility and also build that solid financial foundation for wealth. So teaching you how to have more fun and fulfillment and that overall flexibility with your money to do more of the things that are most important to you. And to me, really, that kind of aligns with financial self-care, right? It's like, so when I think about it, I think about making intentional money decisions that will allow you to take care of yourself now and take care of yourself later. So I think about it not just as a present tense thing, but like making the decisions that the gifts that keep on giving. And also just like putting things in place to where money is not a huge stressor in your life, right? You have more space, you have more freedom, and it doesn't take up a ton of mental space, but you are still able to reach your goals that you would like to achieve.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Coach Emily.
Hello, everybody. I am Coach Emily. I'm a financial coach, and I serve six-figure earners who find themselves living paycheck to paycheck. So if you ever said, I make all this money and I don't have nothing to show for it, or I make all this money and I don't have any idea where it goes, where it went, you are my people. So I serve women who are looking to build more financial responsibility and just leadership with the money that they earn. And financial self-care to me, first thing that comes to mind is just well-being.
Yeah.
It means that I am not only physically and practically able to do the things that I need to do and want to do with money, but I also, my hands, my heart, and my mind are also aligned when it comes to money. And we're able to maintain the lifestyle that we want to be able to maintain. And like Chiante is saying, it's not a stressor. I'm in control of the money's not in control of me. But it just well-being is the first thing that comes to mind. Being able to know that I'm confidently doing the right things and having the ability to do those things financially.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Emily. We have a couple more responses in the chat about
Let's highlight them.
To with our
self-care. For me, financial self-care is taking the time to learn and put things in place for my financial wellness. These days, it means being patient. Ooh, yes, Edith. Being patient with myself, knowing what to ask for and when to call brokers. Okay.
I guess like calling backup support, huh? Like knowing what I need to do myself and knowing when I need to get some help. That's true though, right?
Right.
Did we see Shalena's prioritizing my financial needs above all others?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a big one, especially, I mean, financial self-care is oftentimes tied to your time, like the time, prioritizing your time to say, I'm going to spend this time looking at my budget. I know there's a million things on my plate. There's a million things calling me right now, but this is important to me because the rest of my week, the level of stress that I have is based off of what I know about my finances over the coming week. How annoyed I am with my kid telling me at the last minute that they got a field trip that they need X amount of dollars for. It's going to largely depend on how confident I am that I can afford to do that. So making sure that, you take that time and prioritize your time so that you can prioritize your financial needs. I love that, Shalonda. Saying that right.
What would you say to my panel ladies, as well as those of you watching us live or watching the replay? What would you say is the best financial decision that you've ever made that improved your financial self-care, that helped to improve your financial self-care?
Oh.
We ask this the audience question.
Yeah, audience, go ahead and drop in the comments what you've done, like your good decisions that really help to add some ease, add some flow to things. And I was trying to think of my response. I think for me, it was hard for me to really come up with one thing, and maybe that's the key. Maybe it wasn't just one thing, right? Maybe it was
multiple.
Yeah. Well, and I think because I think there's not just one silver bullet that fixes everything, right? I think it's being diligent about your finances. So I would say one thing for me is like having that diligence to pay attention, to not avoid what was going on with my money, and to take some time to see what, like, keep up what was going on with it, but also plan ahead and be intentional about, especially like big decisions, which, you know, buying a house or buying a car, those type of things, which really have longer term impacts on how much you end up spending on those things over time. So like being intentional with those decisions. I think those were some of the things that really helped me to, like, with my financial self-care, like taking the time to put a system in place or manage my money in a way where it didn't require like all my time and energy, or didn't cause stress for me, or those type of things. And all of that really comes down to like just being diligent and paying attention to what was going on with it and making some intentional choices. And I don't think that necessarily means like doing everything right? I mean, or doing everything perfectly. It doesn't mean that at all. It's just, so that could be another one. It's like doing the best that I could at the time with what I knew and what I had, but always being open to learn more and continue evolving. And as I got new information in, or as I could, you know, was making more money and could do more things, then I would do more, you know, as I knew more and have more resources. So I think those are like, in this, if you implement that, and this is why I always tell clients or people when it comes to financial habits, or saving money or whatever it is, it's like, it's more about the habit, like develop that habit and get that habit in place, because then you can apply that at every level of income that you have. So it's more about establishing those healthy practices that are part of like a financial self-care routine, right? Where you just do these things and then that just can grow with you.
Mm-hmm. I love that. We got another response in here from Shalonda King.
Hey, Shalonda. Hey, girl. Hey.
I love this community. They're so engaging. She said the best thing I ever did was deciding to live within my means, regardless of what my friends or family was telling me I should be doing. And that's important, because the social pressure to look like you have arrived will have you unarriving.
Oh, dang, you said the whole word.
Arriving with a lot of baggage.
You said the whole word. Go ahead, rock with it.
It will. It really will. It will. It will undo all the progress you're making, and to get to a place where you are just living in your own truth and where you are and not feeling peer pressure. It's so funny, and this isn't really financially related, but there's been this drama with J. Cole, and he recently just apologized about something today, and he was saying it didn't sit right with his spirit, who he was like, and so he apologized. And I thought, to have the courage to be aware of something about yourself and say publicly what you don't want to do, and fear what other people's response is going to be, that takes a lot to be able to do it. And so Shalonda, I think that the fact that you stay within your means and you don't let other people push you to doing things you don't want to do is powerful. And more of us, more of us would do a lot better as a society if we didn't fall victims to peer pressure. It's the American dream.
Watch out. You mentioned a day. What came to mind when you were talking was like, how often do we make decisions for appearance purposes? And that decision we made, that thing we bought, let's say, since we're talking about a house, an American dream, that's something I've been addressing on my channel this week. Buying that house because we feel like we made it, or we should have, or we're 35 now, or we make 6 figures now, so we're supposed to own a house instead of renting an apartment. And then we get in that house and we hate it. Yeah. Or we get in that house and we're drowning because that monthly payment is taking away all of our money. But we're afraid to say, you know what? I don't want to be a homeowner. I want to go back to renting. You're afraid to let the house go. You're afraid to sell the house because you're afraid of what other people may think. You're afraid of the peer pressure, other people, society at large saying you should be a homeowner because you're this age. How many times do we make decisions to keep up with appearances and it's not true to who we are? That is the opposite of financial self-care, because trying to hold on to a house you can't afford, trying to hold on to a house you hate, it causes you stress. It keeps you up at night. You're mad every day because you got to go to a job you hate to be able to afford it.
I love that what you said, that you're saying it's the opposite of financial self-care, because what came to mind was it's financial self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you can end up, following other people's dreams or other people's or society's recommendations. You end up creating a life that you don't even want to live. That's not even the life that you want for yourself, that you are. So you have all these things and you still find yourself not feeling fulfilled or satisfied, or just always chasing the next thing because there's never going to be an end to it, right? So like you have to take that time to decide what it is that you want personally. And sometimes that could be a hard thing to do, especially when we've been told for a long time what it should be or what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So it takes a real level of honesty to get there. And it might take some time to do it, and it might come out in layers. You have to peel things back to really figure out truly and authentically what you want your life to look like. And there may be some resistance if you're honest with yourself and it looks different than what you've always, even to a past version of you, or what you thought you wanted to where you are now. Like it just takes a lot of honesty to do that.
Yeah, I agree. It takes a lot of self-awareness. So Shalonda, kudos to you.
Yeah.
For staying true to yourself. Kudos to you. She said friends and family will have you out here with Louboutin heels, sleeping on a park bench.
The visual for that. I wish I had the power to just throw up a visual right now.
The red bottoms on the bench.
Sometimes you don't have one in reserve because you are a techie expert.
I might find one. I might graphically put it together. Emily, what are your thoughts?
I wanted to share something. I don't mean to take away the fun in this conversation, but it's important to financial self-care specifically for Black women. And I was like, I can't not share this because it's affecting us at large. But I was reading an article. I was originally searching like the wealth gap in terms of race and gender. I was originally searching like what percentage of Black Americans are millionaires in the United States. So I fell down a rabbit hole and came across all these stats that are attributed to the wealth gap. And what stood out to me and why the topic of financial self-care for Black women came to mind was this here. It said stroke and heart disease are the leading causes of death for Black women. The main risk factors are family history, diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. Approximately 60% of Black women have high blood pressure, and only 2 out of 10 are doing anything to manage it. Let that sink in. 60% of us have high blood pressure. Some may not even know it. And some know it and are not doing anything. And only 2 out of 10 are managing it. And I thought about my family history. I thought about, my health. I was diagnosed as like borderline high blood pressure at one time because I worked a very stressful job. Stress is like the number one cause of high blood pressure, in addition to what we eat. Lack of exercise, of course, too. But it made me think about how did I get my blood pressure back in the normal range that it's in now? And it goes back to financial decisions that I've made. I talk about investing all the time, but investing and or saving, but the simple fact of paying myself first, that's a decision I decided to make years ago. And my version of paying myself first was first the savings account. And then after the savings account, was enough to cover about 3 to 6 months of my living expenses, I started investing. And through investing, I was able to build my portfolio and achieve financial independence. And in May 2022, I decided to take a leave of absence from that stressful job. And I was able to take that leave of absence without pay because of the financial decisions that I made. And during that leave of absence, like my lifestyle, of course, changed because I didn't have the stressors that I was used to dealing with. Even when the weekend comes, you're still thinking about work because you get prepared for work on Sunday night. You're stressing about what you got to do on Monday morning. Even when you go on vacation, you're still thinking about work because you got to come back from vacation. But taking a leave of absence and having the financial means to take a leave of absence without pay. And furthermore, having the financial means to tell your boss, I want to take a leave of absence. And if she said no, it didn't matter because you were taking it anyway. But during that leave of absence, my blood pressure went down. My quality of sleep improved. I had the time to cook. I had the time to exercise more, not doing anything intense or, anything, strenuous, just simply walking. Most people that follow me on social media, every morning I take a wealth walk. I share my wealth walk in my IG stories, but simply walking. And when I think about how I was able to improve my self-care, improving my health, by reducing my blood pressure and reducing my odds of developing heart disease or having a heart attack or stroke, it was because of the financial decisions that I made to prioritize myself. So to me, when I talk about investing and I say investing changed my life, I mean that literally. It's not a catchphrase or some marketing that I'm trying to sell. I mean that literally. It changed my life. And it's not just about the money. As Coach B mentioned, as I mentioned, when we talked about money being a tool, that money became a tool that I was able to use to improve my health, to improve my wealth, so that I could say, I'm leaving whether you approve it or not. And then by the 5th month of the 6-month leave of absence, I decided I didn't want to go back because my life had improved so much. And I just resigned. But it's the financial decisions I made, primarily paying myself first consistently, that put me in a position to be able to do that. It's not about the money. It's using money as a tool and what that tool
allows you to do
for you. Right?
Yeah, Coach Malika, what you're talking about, so I often talk about creating financial flexibility. Like when I introduced myself, I said that's what I help clients do. And what you're talking about is financial flexibility, right? Creating that space in your life, creating options in your life to be able to do something different. And similar to you, I did the same thing for myself. When I look back, when I was deciding to pursue being a full-time coach and take the leap from, a very secure government job, who does that, right? So especially who does that? But a huge reason for it that I felt okay enough to do that is because I had created that financial flexibility in my life to pursue a dream, to try something different, to explore a path, and gave myself that space to be able to do it. So I 100% agree with you. And I'm so thankful to my prior self for doing that, for giving myself this opportunity to, be a full-time coach, to chase a dream, to pursue it. So paying yourself first, taking care of yourself now and later, giving yourself that space. That's what having financial flexibility will do. That's what investing in yourself and in actually financially investing will do. It creates space for you to be able to try something different, to create a life that is more fulfilling and authentic and intentional about what you want it to be.
Right.
Coach Emily, I would love to get your feedback on the question that she talked about before about what's something that you've done that has improved your financial self-care.
So I was thinking about this I'll answer it in the terms of what was one of my best financial decisions. And hands down, the first thing that comes to mind is whenever I was 23 years old, I bought my first investment property. I became a landlord and bought a property in which I lived in, and I had 3 other tenants, scared to death, but I did it anyway. And it really positioned me to expand my little $45,000 salary that I had at that time. And I remember my friends always telling me I lived like I made a lot more money than that. But being able to expand, you know, that $45,000 because I bought that rental property and I essentially was living rent free. It positioned me to buy a second home 2 years later at 25, a third home at 26. So by the time I was 28, I had about I had like 6 different properties that were valued at over $1.5 million at 28 years old. And so that has been one of the best decisions that I made, in my life because it did position me to be able to save a lot of money. It positioned me to be able to invest a lot of money. It positioned me to be able to build my net worth at the time. And I always advise people, like, especially if you are a single person, buy you a rental property, a multifamily property, live in one side, rent the other side out, and stack your money. Don't be afraid to be a landlord. If you are, it is worth it to invest that 10% of your rent to get a property manager. But it was one of the best decisions that I made that really positioned me, um, you know, to thrive in my 20s financially. So
Yeah.
that's my best financial
You
decision,
know,
I think, that enabled a lot of self care at a young age like that.
you know what
Yeah.
I love about that is that, most of the time, especially at that age, you're so eager to like have a place of your own because you're just kind of coming out of your parents' house and coming out of dorms and you kind of want your own place. But to make the sacrifice of having a multifamily property, meaning that you live in an attached dwelling, so that later on you can live so comfortably, not just physically but emotionally and mentally. And I think a lot of times we're unwilling to make those very short term sacrifices for long term gain. The idea, like if I had the concept of multifamily at that age, man, I don't know why I thought living on your own, again, the American dream, set you up again. I would have stayed. I would have kept those
It's a
things. Like you said,
scam.
when you're single and you have no children, like why do I more than this room? Why I want to go half on all my bills? I want to go quarter on all my bills. Why do I want to spend all my money when I don't have to? And I wish I could do a do over all the time. But I love that you were able to have that insight so early on and be willing to make the sacrifice, because some people are getting this information young and they're still
So,
like,
Emily, how did you learn that so young?
I talked about this on our last live, but I came out of college and I came into my corporate job. But as an intern, I had met this group of young Black people. We all had our first job. We all were in corporate, and I don't even remember how or who, but we all read together. We had like a little book club, and we read Rich Dad Poor Dad. So it wasn't just me that bought rental property. It was like a whole group of us that were in our early 20s, and we all bought property. Some partnered together to buy property. Others bought, our own property. So it was. I don't even want to say we were like just doing it because each other were doing it. We all were very eager to, build wealth and to get these properties. We were excited about what we read and the information we took in from that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being in community with other
Being in
people
community,
who are pursuing the same goals as you.
it matters.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that positive influence.
Look, well, and that's a
Exactly.
good point. That in itself can be financial self-care, right? Like who you surround yourself with, who supports your
point.
goals and dreams, who supports you in your whatever your financial goals that you're trying to do. There's some people who you get together with and they always want to go spend money, always want to go do this, always go do that, right? And so like surrounding yourself with people who are being forward thinking, who are themselves practicing financial self-care, right? And then it helps to support you in the decisions that you make, where you don't have as much resistance to, the peer pressure or to keep up appearances and stuff like that, because you're around other people who are sharing the same or like-minded, right?
mm-hmm.
That in itself can be a self-care practice.
Right.
Yes, yes.
It was. It didn't seem so scary for me to be 23 years old to go buy a property because I just saw my homeboy do it.
Yeah.
He gave me his experience. I just
Like,
saw my
if he could do
girlfriend
it,
do it.
And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
and then you start sharing resources, you know.
Yes.
And we
Who was
start
your
sharing
mortgage broker?
resources.
Who was your real estate agent?
Exactly.
Who's your property manager? Yeah.
Right. How did you buy it with zero down? Or how did you get money back? That's how it was. I remember buying my first property. I didn't put any money down. I walked away to check for $2,000 because somebody told me about, a first time home buyer program or some other resources that we were able to use. Now buying houses now is not like it was then. But it didn't seem as scary seeing other people around me doing it.
Right.
So I want to ask the audience a question because you said two things that I think are important. Is one, you guys were reading a book together, and I'm curious about what money books we should all be reading if we had our imaginary book club that will move us a little bit further. I think we've all had books that I want to know what the audience has been reading or is on their bucket list of books to read, and what resources are we holding out on, because good best friends share.
Yeah. One resource I want to share, just in line with what Emily's point, a good company to go to learn about the home buying process if you're a first-time home buyer is NACA. NACA is
NACA.org. Is that what it is?
NACA, yes.
And you can buy rental properties with NACA.
Yeah, NACA will fully educate you about the process, about the home buying process. They have some of the best rates available. It's my understanding it's a pretty lengthy program. And you also have to, it's a nonprofit program, right? And you also have to do certain things to give back to the community once you close on your house. But they help you buy a home with some of the best rates. You go into it, educate it. You know exactly what you're getting yourself into. They help you with your finances, making sure that you can afford the house and keep the house once you close on the house. So yeah, that's a good resource to use if you're in the home buying process.
I love that. And there's lots of community grants as well. And when I bought my house, I closed with over $21,000 in grants. And some of those grants I assumed I didn't qualify for. I assumed I made too much money for, and you never know. Shoot your shot. Let them tell you no and see what you're eligible for, because there is money in some communities for redevelopment. And you just need to put your hat in the ring. So, and it really wasn't very complicated to be eligible or approved for those programs either. A lot of the paperwork they're going to require of you, what I mean by that is a lot of the paperwork they're going to require of you, you had to get together for your mortgage lender anyway. So It's not going to require a lot of extra legwork for you to start that process.
Yeah. Shalonda says she bought each of her homes through NACA. Yep.
Yeah. One of my closest friends, she bought her home through NACA. And I think her interest rate was like something ridiculously low, like 2% when she closed on her home. So yeah, it's a pretty good program. Lengthy, but a good program.
Yeah.
Oh,
so some other books. The question was about books, right? Any books?
Yeah, I think it's Cashing Out a name of a book, Tiffany. It sounds like
it is. That's by the Saunders, Kirsten and
Yes.
Yeah. They're Black couple.
Rich and
regular. Rich and regular.
Yeah,
Wait a minute, what is it? Rich and regular. Yeah, Cashing Out. A book I just read, which is it's money related, but it's money adjacent. It's a lot of things tied to money, right? It's called The Afro Minimalist Guide to Living with Less. And it's about so it's about.
Let me write that down.
I know, right? That's what I'm doing.
I got it right here. Hold on.
Never heard of it.
So many words in that title. I'm attracted to.
Afro
Minimalist.
It's right here. The author is Christine Platt, and it's about how less is liberation, right? How living with less, and how a lot of times we think of the minimalist movement like the pristine white, you barely have anything. But one of the things she talks about in here, and it is a Black author, it's a Black woman, and she just talks about doing minimalism your way, or like just being more authentic and intentional with what you purchase and being a conscious consumer and those type of things. So it is definitely aligns with money. And of course she talked, she provides her story and the impact that, overspending and over consuming had, and thinking about how much money goes into doing that type of thing and the reasons why we do that. So it was a really good read. So like I said, money adjacent, but it definitely has a financial impact. Afro Minimalist Guide to Living with Less.
You know what that makes me think of? Clutter.
Hold on real quick. And when you live on less, you have more money to invest.
I like that one-liner. that minimalism always makes me think of like clutter, which makes me think of like self-care. Like, a lot of times you can tell somebody's emotional health, their mental health, based on what their physical space looks like. And I think in the finances, it's the same way. When things are cluttered and they're chaotic, that a lot of times there's a lot going on there, and it's a big sign. So when you guys were talking about like what's the best thing that you guys have done for financial self-care, I was thinking about myself, and to be honest with you, it was going to therapy, because I did not fully grasp how connected your mental health and your financial health are for each other. That if you are mentally you're not healthy, you're not going to make good financial decisions. And if you're in a bad situation financially, that's going to affect your mental health too. They're really kind of like a cycle. And so if you get your mental health together, it helps you get your financial health together, and your financial health being together helps you maintain that mental health. And I didn't always see the connection between what was going on in my outside financial life. It was stuff unrelated to my finances, but it was going to eventually trickle into my finances. Being able to have that level of self-awareness of what was happening. Like, for example, you guys, I have ADHD, but I didn't always understand all of the unique nuances of ADHD. One of those issues I may deal with sometimes is heightened sense of anxiety and a heightened sense of depression, more than normal. So everybody deals with anxiety, everybody deals with depression, but we have a higher likelihood of that happening. And so there were times where simple tasks would make me feel paralyzed. And I didn't even know that was happening. Having to go through that with a therapist, and having me even just notice that was occurring, that I was freezing when I needed to do hard things. And I really didn't understand why this was happening. And I wasn't making that connection to the ADHD, the neurodivergence, and my ability to actually follow through. It just looked like procrastination, not realizing that I was having anxiety about the task itself. And I was making it be like, oh, you just are procrastinating. Oh, you're just lazy. I was telling myself a narrative about myself that actually wasn't true, that I was dealing with undiagnosed ADHD. And finally getting that diagnosis really helped put context around a lot of the things that I was doing around money. A lot of the ways I was, for example, overgiving. I had a hard time setting boundaries, and a lot of that had to do with rejection sensitivity dysmorphia, which is very common with people with ADHD. We're afraid of rejection, so that we won't tell somebody no, because we're afraid that they'll leave our life, or they'll feel like, oh, we don't care about them, right? And so we're afraid to set a boundary with a family member because we don't want to deal with that level of rejection. Having therapy put context to why I was having such anxiety around me, and then help me learn the language, help me relearn, unlearn some of those narratives that I had given myself, so that I could articulate the things that I intellectually knew but could not communicate, because my mind, I was fighting against an issue inside of my mind that I didn't even know was there. So having therapy was major for me. Even if you're not dealing with any like named mental health issue, even if it's simply just what's going on in your day-to-day life, I think it's important for you to have help.
That brings to mind the fact that in the Black community, we don't really talk about mental health enough. And I also think seeking therapy is considered a luxury or a privilege. A lot of people assume they can't afford therapy. So I just want to share a couple of resources. If you don't necessarily have to be feeling, like your life is falling apart or having a major life catastrophe. I kind of see therapy as like maintenance, the same way as Black women, we see an OBGYN, once a year to get a PAP. The same way we go to the dentist every 6 months. That's kind of how I view therapy. But some affordable resources, and we're not sponsored, but these are resources that I've either used myself or recommended to others. But BetterHelp the app. It's a great resource. It has rates that are lower than some of the national standard therapy rates, and it also will adjust the rates on a sliding scale based on your income if your income is lower. So BetterHelp is a good source. Another good source is Black Girl Therapy. Black
Yeah,
Girl Therapy. It's a group. It's a Facebook group. I think there's also a
I
podcast,
do. Podcast. Yeah.
and she also has like a resource library where you can put in your state, your city or your state, and it will give you a list of all the therapists that are in your state. Some of them take insurance. You never know. Your insurance may cover your therapy. You know, the insurance you use to see your primary care physician, you may already be covered. Don't assume that you're not. But for those therapists that don't take insurance, sometimes they will give you a rate, you know, based on your income. So consider those sources. And if there are others that you all recommend, please share.
AEP. Sometimes your employer offers employee assistance, EAP, sorry, employee assistance program, where you get like maybe 3 or 6 visits to a mental health professional, and you can do that before you even go the insurance route. So if you want to try, and a lot of times insurance companies will allow you. So like, let's say you go to a therapist and you're like, I don't really, because honestly, finding a therapist is kind of like finding a spouse. You need to find a good fit, right?
It does
You
take
may
a
go
little
to them
time.
a couple of times. They'll give you so many visits, and you can swap out to the next person without treating it as one of your visits. So talk to your EAP services and find out exactly how those benefits work, because most employers offer that as a part of your fringe benefit package.
And BetterHelp does that too. If you see a therapist and it's not a good fit, you can switch. They'll ask you like different things about yourself, your demographics. If you prefer a therapist, it's like Christian based, whatever your preferences are, they will try to match you with a therapist that meet all of your criteria. And if you work with one and it's not a good fit, you don't have to be committed to that one therapist. You can switch to another therapist, and you can switch as many times as you want. There are no requirements. And the Black Girls group is therapy for Black girls. I said it backwards. But
it sure is. Like I was when you said, I was like, something sound off about that, but I don't know what it is. That's therapy for Black girls. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the group is run by a Black woman therapist.
Yeah,
Joy
other
Bradford. You guys put in the chat too. Some of the books that were talked about. Another Ellie, am I saying that right? Put up a book in here too. Our favorite book is Open Your Mind to Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. I think there was one other book in here.
Yeah, she mentioned another one a little bit later. Another book, but Catherine Ponder has another book that I want to read called Open Your Mind to Receive. Yeah. So those are good.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm like, you see that?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not even wearing my glasses.
Okay. I'll have to make note of those. I haven't heard of those.
Yeah. Another one that I've read, kind of these titles made me think of it. I read it earlier this year. It's called, so this one's a little more woo. So if you're like the manifesting and stuff like that, but it's called Creating Money. Gosh, I don't even know people's name, but it's called Creating Money. It's a purple cover on it. But that one is, it has some good information. It's not all woo, but it is more about a lot of times how you're thinking about things, how you approach things and stuff like that, kind of mindset around things. But it's a little woo in there. but it was, I enjoyed it. And in that particular book also has some good, I think they call them play sheets, but good exercises for you to kind of think through and work through. So I like that part of it as well. Creating Money.
A book that I like is called The Psychology of Money
That's a good one.
By Morgan Housel. And I like that book because, all of us as money coaches, and I'm sure we've all said this at least once to our clients, like money is more than just the dollars and cents. I would say money is only about maybe 20% dollars and cents, but it's 80% psychology and behavior. And this book talks about the 80%. It talks about, using money as a tool and aligning it with happiness in your life, aligning it with the things you value, the things that you prioritize, instead of, always planning for some far-fetched future event in your life. how you can use your money to have joy now.
You know, it's so funny you say that, and this might have to be a topic for another one, because I think the ladies are going to chime in on this one. I heard this guy, and it made me cringe, because I don't think I'll ever forgive Kevin Samuels for making this term, the high value man. He was talking about high value, but what he was really referring to was high income earner, not high value. And it made me, I had to break down what values actually mean. Like when we're talking about your financial values, if I value sustainability, if I value the ability to live off the land, I don't care about your 7-figure job on Wall Street. Do you know how to hunt, gather, kill? Like, I want to know, can you protect me? I mean, I value that. High value is different to me, right? I don't want to get into it right now because it's a hot topic for another.
Let's get into it. Why not? Hey, the men we date are part of our self-care.
They really are.
Because
Right.
we're so good. I think they deserve the whole hour, and we only got like 10 minutes left. So listen, y'all hold us to it. We'll table it. Next month is Mother's Day month, and we deserve some quality conversation.
Okay. I'm here. I'm down for it. I have nothing to do, so I'm here as long as y'all need me.
Yes, but really a conversation about what you value in the first place, like really
Values.
alignment with what your values actually are, because I think that the world is always telling us what we should care about, and then we go in search of it, and then we're frustrated midway through our life when we realize we've taken on all this debt, chasing after stuff we don't even want to do, careers we never liked, but their guidance counselor said we should do them. And you know what I mean? We just kept moving along. You're supposed to get married. Don't get me going.
Well, and look, and part of that too.
Go ahead. I want you to get going.
Because this is where the financial stress comes from. We're paying for the decisions of our past because somebody told them, and rightfully so. We're young. We don't know what we're doing. This is what they got. This is what they said we're supposed to do. Get that good job. Get that degree.
Well, and here's the other part of that too, Coach B, is like once those decisions are made and you realize that they don't feel good to you anymore. It's like you still stay in them because you feel stuck, or you feel like you don't have another choice, or like, because like, oh, I'm too far in it now, or you've created a life, expenses and everything else that makes it hard for you to make a transition, which is part of financial self-care too, is right, creating space in your life. So if you need to make a move, you need to make a change, create that space for yourself, right? Because a lot of times there'll be a financial impact or something associated with that. You'll need some resources to do it.
And what do I always say? Always reserve the right to change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always reserve the right to change your mind.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have that conversation, Coach B. We could do it tonight or next month. But I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm ready tonight.
Because I feel like the people in the comments going to be ready to. And I want to give them all. I want to give them the space to give them all the smoke in the world. Okay, that this topic deserves about high value.
Look, as soon as you said that, I don't know if you saw me, but I rolled my eyes. I was like,
well, look, it looked like Chanel doesn't really care for who was it? Kevin Sam.
Kevin Sam.
He said he must not be named. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that one. Oh, yes. They gave these men this vocabulary now, and they're using it wrong, and it's driving me nuts because they're talking about high income, and we're not talking about high values. So anyway,
high income does not equal high value necessarily, right?
Listen, if you listen, okay, we're gonna table it because you know how we do in this group. When we
Go ahead, Coach B.
We get on here. We try to get on here 20 minutes before we start. We done the whole episode before y'all even got on here. Y'all don't know how we do. We love this stuff. We talk about money all day. Bring us back in, y'all. Listen, y'all know next month. What is it? Second Mondays of the month.
We gotta wait a whole month for that good conversation.
No, don't worry. It'll still be a hot topic.
So we are not going to do the 2-hour lives that you be doing. No, ma'am.
Yeah. Listen,
we ain't doing those, okay?
My community like my 2-hour lives, ma'am.
That is great.
Listen, it boils. This topic boils my blood. Don't worry, I'll be able to bring this.
Chanel putting tea. Chanel putting tea in the comments. She like, go ahead, drop the tea. Go ahead. Look, they ready. I'm ready too.
Well, then mark your calendar for the second month of May, second Monday of May at 7:00 when we come back to give y'all the tea. Emily, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, she been quiet tonight.
No, she on mama duty tonight.
Y'all, I'm in my car and there's a guy next to me blasting country music, so that's why I've been quiet, because my environment is just not as conducive as I would like. But I'll share a couple of books that I think, one that is really been good about giving some insight around the human side of money. So what you guys have been talking about, that 80% of the mental mindset, the emotions, the thoughts, the beliefs. Rewire for Wealth by Barbara Houston is a great book, and she has a great body of work really built around um, being an under earner, like how you overcome that, and understanding how to rewire yourself for wealth. Very much aligns to self care, being able to command your worth in income. And then the practical side, one of my favorite books. Buy this for your teenagers. Buy this for your young adults. Buy this for your college graduates, your high school graduates. It is really a practical way to set your money up, like when you're first getting started, or even if you're, in your 30s, 40s. It's a great book, but it is "I Will Teach You to Be Rich" by Ramit Sethi. It is a great, practical, easy to follow book. Get it for your like I said, your teenagers, your young adults, your adults, your full grown adults. It's a great book as well, and it's more along the practical side.
I love those books. It's interesting. I love that we're all like, so many of these books. I'm like, I got that one. I'm looking for some new books in here. Some of them are in my queue to read. I got it on my queue, but I haven't.
I got at least 2. I'm gonna buy as soon as we get off of here.
Yes, and then I missed one of them. Shianti got kicked off. Hopefully we can get her back in before we leave. But she was helping me out with typing out the books. But if can you say that
her camera?
She coming back in? Okay. Can you give us that other book again, Emily? Oh, here she comes.
Rewire for Wealth by Barbara Houston, Huson. Rewire for Wealth.
All right.
Yeah, actually, Barbara, am I on mute? No, y'all can hear me. Technical difficulties. Sorry about that. But Barbara Houston, Houston, I think is whatever her last name is. She has some other books, like you said, about overcoming under earning. She has another one called The Secrets of Six-Figure Women, which that's a great one too. So she has a few different ones, particularly about women and money too, that are helpful books.
And she used to be Barbara Stanny. I think her earlier books are in her other last name, Barbara Stanny, but her most recent books are Houston.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we low-key started a book club. At a minimum of a community of people who are going to be reading some good and interesting books.
Hey. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So before we wrap up, ladies, since we're talking about financial self-care, is there anything that you have as a financial coach within your program that you would like to share with our community to help them with their financial self-care? Whether you have a book or a program or, anything that you would like to share. Let's drop it in the comments and share our resources with the people. For me, I'll go first. Y'all know I'm the coach that like to talk about investing. So if you are not an investor and you would like to get started with investing, I have a free starter kit. It can be found at moneycoachmalika.com/start investing. I will drop that in the comments for you.
Yep.
but it's a resource that will help you get started. And I also share the 3 biggest lessons learned for me on my financial journey and how I overcame them to help you avoid those same mistakes so you won't be losing money in the stock market.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I also, so a common problem that I help clients with is debt payoff and debt elimination and building their savings. So I have a free guide and video training that about 5 simple steps to pay off your debt and create financial flexibility. Because, that's what I said, I'm all about creating financial flexibility. And a huge part of that a lot of times is getting rid of debt to create space to do other things with your money. And you can download that at dollarsandchange.com/debt organizer. And that's a free resource for you.
Coach B, can you highlight
Yes, I'm sorry.
comments that
There you go.
the investor starter kit?
I was in here with the audience, just enjoying y'all talking about what y'all do.
All right. Highlight Shantae's debt organizer. Is that free, Shante?
Yes, it's a free download. Like I said, it's a guide, and then it's a video training that walks you through where I talk you through the guide. So yep, it's free download.
Awesome. Coach Emily, what you got?
Yes, so I'll share, as I mentioned earlier in my intro, I help women who find themselves living paycheck to paycheck, right? Help them create an escape plan to get out of that lifestyle. So I have a free resource. If you like podcasts, you'll love this. It is a 6-episode audio private podcast with 6 secrets that you need to know, that you must know in order to escape the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. There's some cool resources in there. You can listen to it, download it with one click, listen to it while you're taking your evening walk, while you're giving the kids a bath, while you're cooking dinner, pop your earphones in and listen. It's 6 very short strategy packed episodes to get you on the path to taking control of your money. Oh, and you can see it here. My link is bit.ly/6 secrets podcast.
I'll put that in the comments for you. I'll type it for you.
Yeah, because I can't get in the comments for some reason.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Secrets with an S.
Emily. Oh, wait, let me do it again. Hold on. Go back to Emily's. bit.ly/6 secrets. Oh.
With an S, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Let's see if I can fix.
There we go.
We got each other's back.
There you go.
All right, there we go. And
Coach B.
As an ADHD coach, I know that we are always craving dopamine, and I got to make money fun. I have to make it exciting. I got to make it an adventure. And so I am doing a month ahead fun challenge. It is a free challenge that you can download the month ahead fun guide. I know one of the 4 emotional worries that people have is they're worried about today. They can't even think about tomorrow, like how I'm gonna pay these bills on today. They're worried about tomorrow. If I pay all these bills, what if something pops up? They're worried about fear of missing out. All my friends are doing something, and when am I ever going to get to enjoy a little bit of my life? And they're afraid that they're going to get stuck, and they're always going to be working, and they're never going to get to live a fabulous life and be able to quit their job when they want to, or as Malika did, tell them, you know what, I don't think I want to come back. And it all begins with, for me, getting a month ahead, is to give yourself, and we talked about this during this whole thing with self-care, is to give yourself space to respond and react. And when you're a month ahead on your bills, you have a lot less anxiety. And for us who have ADHD, we are prone to forgetfulness. You guys have seen me probably forget things a couple of times on this one podcast. And it gives me an opportunity to put my bills on auto pay and take the pressure off of myself to be perfect, to have to remember everything, and not also worry about accidentally overdrafting my account, forgetting to pay a bill. And I can create that by being a month ahead of your bills. So it's a fun savings challenge to get a month ahead in your bills, to make it something that's chewable, that it's not so overwhelming that, whatever your monthly bills are, that it feels so big that it's broken down into small little steps so that it feels like something that you can celebrate milestones over and over and over again and get excited about. So you get all those little dopamine hits that you want. And you can go to youngrichruder.com/start here. That's actually /month ahead in order to download the free guide.
You gonna drop the link for us?
Yes, I will.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right.
Some great resources shared tonight.
Listen, guys, if you guys have any questions for us, even if you're watching a replay, put them in the comments. We'll come back and we'll read them. We want to make sure we answer your questions either directly in the comments or maybe on the next episode next month. If you guys have any topics, some things that you want us to cover, please share. We'd love to get your feedback because we're here to serve you. We want to give our 4 cents, but we're doing it for you. So let us know.
And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, smash that like button, and share with another Black woman who needs tips on how to establish financial self-care in her life. And until next
time. Crystal. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for y'all staying on. It's a lot of y'all on here right now. I thank y'all. All right, until next month when we get into that tea.
Bye.